But I think to have a food that pairs with tea and the communication gets started, it brings us closer, it brings us more engaged, and also we are able to plan for future together. I think it's never about just food. It's about the overall connection through a cup of tea. My name is Kenry Pei, the fourth generation tea man of Pei Sin Chun. We are here since 1925, which is the year of ox. We managed to have our humble little tea shop. So from that day onwards, we are doing tea, experience tea, and enjoying tea. Yep. Teas are from Mother Earth. But back then, I think we don't have the privilege to sample the red, green, white, yellow from our forefather. We bring all the oolong from our town. We end up with oolong tea. Of course, now that with all the logistic technology, we are able to bring in all the 6 different type of tea, including the unique blend that we have, which is the Nanyang tea. And we managed to supply about 80% of the bak kut teh in Singapore, which is a unique local delicacy. So happened that we capture the attention of this group of people is through a cup of tea. We are able to connect, interact, and better share our future together in these small little eatery session and things like that.
Bak kut teh first started very early in our early settlements as a very normal food for the coolies. That means the hard labours during then. Really pork bone, no meat. Only the bone to boil the soup with some herbs and to pour onto the rice for the coolies to eat. So in this sense, they don't need to charge the coolies too much money. So coolies, they can afford it. But because of this thing that being a bit oily, the boss of this bak kut teh decided to give them the tea. So that's how this thing merged together, bak kut and tea merged together.
The history of Singapore, actually we humbly set up in 1969 from a humble push cart in the defunct Johor Road. Then, when my father, Mr. Yeo Eng Sol, started, pork was also an expensive item then. And then with spices, spices are actually areas, things like pepper and garlic, which actually help to dissipate the heat and replenish the energy after a day of laborious work. This tea was actually created back in the 60s to actually complement the richness of bak kut teh. But why tea? Because bak kut teh actually literally means pork bone tea. But there's actually no tea inside the soup, but tea was actually a complement to the soup. But I think it has definitely evolved over the years, and now not only the older generation will come in on their own accord. I think the newer generation, the young Gen Z and everything, they will also come because it has become a comfort food for all together, a quick service, quick meal, and yet at an affordable price, and it fills you and warms your heart.
In Singapore, we have almost zero resources, and we got no fallback. When we fall back, that would be the oceans. It's all about survival in Singapore. So we don't have any of the tea plantation at all. And a lot of time, because of politically, because of logistic, because of communication, we don't have tea. So in a way, we are trying to use old and new tea. After that, we improvise a little bit using north and the south of Fujian tea to actually blend the tea on top of the new and old. These are the north one, which is a slightly bigger leaf. The south one is Tie Guan Yin, like that, smaller. And that is about survival, and that gives us a much better chance of having the right tea to be served to the local over here.
First process, we actually will try them out and then decide how we can blend the tea using the formula that was passed down by the forefather. But this formula actually will change. So depending on which year it's being stored and how it's being stored, the weather during then all make a difference. So every time we want to make do a blend, we actually have to lay out all the tea again, test it out, and decide, oh, this year how should we adjust the formula a bit for this time round so that it doesn't vary too much.
Pig Seng Chun has done an excellent job. They have their shop front in Chinatown, and I mean they could have just operated it as a business, as a retail, but they use up that precious space to hold workshops. They participate in many placemaking and heritage festival events all year round to share more about their tea culture. They host interns, and I think what's very powerful is Kenry himself as the master practitioner sharing his own personal story and journey.
We started the bak kut teh supply somewhere in the 20s when we first started the shop. People always thought that bak kut teh only started in the 50s, which is not. After the Second World War, everyone tried to rebuild a nation, and it's only somewhere in the 50s, everything stabilized, so we are able to enjoy the moment together. And that's how, we managed to supply that much of the sector. We are focusing these a unique local delicacy because it never happens anywhere in the world. Not in China, not in Hong Kong, not in Taiwan. It only happens to be in Nanyang, Singapore. Yes.